someone was trying to make a bow and arrow.
This is Elbow Island Park. It's in downtown Calgary. It's underneath 4th Street Bridge.
A park that's obviously been accessible for decades in the city, but somehow it's been overlooked, and through that has maintained a bit of kind of a natural feel. It's just tied into part of a City of Calgary flood mitigation project to clear out some flood debris and restore fish habitat. As part of that capital project, there's room for a public art component. We wanted to create a quiet, contemplative space for art.
On the west side of the island, there's an ephemeral stream that runs through and separates the two landmasses, and they needed a walkway, so we decided to make a rock ford. The stones are going to be limestones. It's a stone that is commonly seen along the banks of the river. The ones that we chose have quartz lines, which will be really interesting once we cut into it. There are these bench-like boulders on either side, and people will be able to sit and look either upstream or downstream. I think everyone has their version of like either looking, to the future or to the past. But I think this lends itself to a slowing down. When people talk about meditation, they talk about your thoughts coming in and out of you, and you just watch it flow by. We were able to get Kabluziak. They designed this text work. They'll all be sandblasted.
I was a little bit hesitant at first because it's not my traditional territory, and it's like public art. I think always needs to have that in mind about like whose land is this art on, and if it's welcomed or even wanted. Thinking of like what is something that could be a more universal or gentle way of interacting. So I was thinking a lot about water and rivers. I thought of these phrases that a relative could say, that the water could say to you, like, you used to visit me every day. Like, that's something like your auntie would say, but also like if the water could talk, maybe it would say that too. I try to work with invalidation in my work often. Like I was trying to channel like my aunties and uncles and grandparents, picture what it would sound like in their voice. I really like it when my work is open enough that you could sort of project yourself into it.
Yeah, so I guess it's no one's fault really, but you make all the drawings and then you send them off, and through the channels we ended up with stones that were much larger than expected, and plans changed. I had ideas of how it's supposed to be, and now it's changed a little bit, but it can always be better. We had unforeseen problems with the silt, so they're afraid that everything would sink. It turned out that my boulders were a little bit larger, so it allows for a little sinkage. I think those two things just kind of work themselves out. The whole idea is just to make it as as subtle as possible, that there are things that you come across, and it takes a little bit of work. And to be honest, like they are seats for people, but I think they're also just stones. Like they're for every creature on the island.
I like that it wasn't permanent. There was the possibility that in however many years that it would be washed away. That's really nice when you think about public art, is that it's like it's in the public, it's in the world is like going to reclaim it eventually. It doesn't, capture your attention right away. Like it just looks like a stone, and it takes a little bit of effort to kind of find the gem out of it. It requires maybe second, third time viewing or something that people find and feel like it's their own thing.